You're welcome to last episode of our Team Leader Edge series, episode 6, Building Team Culture Deliberately. Now, if you have been following us right from series 1, we talked about the effective worker as an individual contributor, that you come to a place where it will be difficult for your organization to just let you go. And so we looked at work 30s, we looked at managing up, we looked at time priorities, we looked at communication, we looked at saying no without ruining your relationship. And then the final episode in that series 1 was professional reputation. And then we move because ideally, when you have performed exceptionally well as an individual contributor, you'll be promoted. So we move into the team leader series. And in episode 1, we looked at the shift from doing to leading. Then we looked at feedback. We looked at handling underperformance. We looked at meetings that will produce outcomes, not just discussions. Then last week, we looked at delegation, how you can delegate without losing control, because delegation is a developmental tool, not just to offload load and work from your table. So I want you to know that these episodes, they are not a collection of tips. It's a system. And today we'll close that system with the most powerful element of team leadership, culture. Culture. Building team culture deliberately, not by default. So let me tell you about two teams in the same organization, Team A and Team B. Both teams have similar headcounts, similar budgets, similar technical capability. Both reports to directors who have the same level of access and influence. Team A consistently will meet its targets. The team leader are very happy working, so there was basically no turnover. When one person is overloaded, others offer to help without being asked. When something goes wrong, they talk about it openly and they fix it together. When something goes right, they celebrate it together. Team B, on the other hand, has a high turnover. People leave. People in Team B, they do their individual jobs, but they rarely go beyond that. Information is ordered, credit is contested. When targets are not met, the first instinct is to find who is responsible rather than what went wrong. So you can see that the difference between Team A and Team B is not capability. It is not resources. It is culture. And the culture in Team A and B was built deliberately by each leader of that team, whether they knew it or not. Whether they knew it or not, they were building something. And so what is team culture? What is team culture? Team culture is a set of unwritten rules that governs how people behave when nobody is watching formally. It is not a value statement on the office wall. It is what actually happens when a deadline is at risk of being missed, when a team member makes a mistake, when someone needs help that is not in their job description, when the leader leaves the room. That's your culture. Culture is essentially the answer to the question, what is normal here? What is normal for honesty? What is normal for accountability? What is normal for how people treat one another under pressure? What is normal for how failures are handled and how successes are shared? Every team has a culture. The question is whether the leader you as a leader, you are deliberately building that culture, or whether the culture is just assemblies of your, habit, fears, and default, or whoever happened to show up. So now I want you to reflect about your team right now. When a team member makes a significant mistake, what happens? Do they come to you immediately and openly? Or do they hide it until it becomes unavoidable? Number two, when one team member is struggling, what do the others do? Do they offer support or they keep their distance because it's not in their job description? When there is a disagreement about the best approach to a problem, do people speak their genuine opinion or do they wait to see what you, the leader, what you think first? Your honest answer to these three questions will tell you more about your team culture than any survey or workshop ever could. And the culture you are describing in those answers is largely a reflection of the environment you have been building intentionally or by default. Or by default. But remember, we're looking at building team culture deliberately. So I want us to look at the 4 foundations of team culture. A deliberate team culture rests on these 4 foundations critically. Number 1, psychological safety. Now, if you know about the Google project Aristos, it was a project that they studied hundreds of teams, and they found out that psychological safety is the number 1 predictor of high-performing teams rather. And what is psychological safety? The belief that you can speak up, share ideas, admit mistakes, and ask questions without the fear of you being intimidated, punished. It was the number 1 factor that distinguished the best teams from the rest. It's a research, you can check it out. As a leader, you build psychological safety by how you respond when people are honest with you. If someone brings you bad news and your first response is blame, you have just made it less likely that anyone will bring you bad news quickly in the future. So people will be hiding things until when it is unavoidable. The way you respond in moments of honesty determines what people share with you and how early they share it. Foundation number 2, clear and shared standards. High-performing culture are not loose or undefined. They are clear about what is expected, how work is done, and what is not acceptable. Your job as a leader is to name and model these standards consistently. Standards that live only in the leader's head and are applied inconsistently, they are not standards because the people are not in your mind. They are personal preferences, and personal preferences will only lead to resentment and confusion. Foundation 3, collective ownership. In a strong team culture, people feel responsible for the team outcome, not just their own little tasks. This does not happen by accident. It is built through how you celebrate successes, how you address failures, and how you distribute credit and accountability. When a leader consistently say, we more than I, the team will eventually follow. There will be ownership mindset. Foundation 4, deliberate rituals. Culture is sustained through repeated behavior. not through one-off conversations. Weekly check-ins, for example, monthly reviews, team celebration that are specific and timely. These are not nice things or addition to the work. They are the mechanism through which culture lives and persists beyond any single conversation. So let's look at your role, you, the leader's role in culture. Let's look at the leader's role in culture. Number one, I want you to know upfront that you are always modeling the culture. Every time you respond to a mistake, you are teaching your team how to respond to mistakes. Every time you are late to a meeting, you are teaching your team how seriously to take time. Every time you take credit for a team win without naming the contributors, you are teaching your team what happens to their visibility when they do good work. Every time you are honest about a failure or a gap in your own knowledge, you are giving permission for others to be honest too. Culture does not come from what you say. I need you to know that. It comes from what you do consistently in the small moments that feels unremarkable at that time. The leader who says, I have an open door policy, but reacts defensively when challenged, has a closed door culture, regardless of the policy that is on ground. A leader who says mistakes are learning opportunities, but publicly criticizes the person who made the mistake, has a blame culture, regardless of the stated value. So walk the culture you want. Walk it. WALK. Walk the culture you want. Everything else is complementary. So before I give you the action step for this week and the key takeaway, I want to close the loop on everything we have covered in series 2. In episode 1 gave you the mindset, the shift from doing to leading. Episode 2 gave you the tool, feedback that changes behavior. Episode 3 gave you the courage, having the conversation you have been avoiding. Episode 4 gave you the structure, meeting that produce this discussion. Meeting that produce decision, not discussions. Episode 5 gave you the mechanism, delegation that builds people, not just output. And today, episode 6 gives you the environment, a culture that makes all of the above sustainable. Because you can have the right mindset, the right tools, the right structure, and the right mechanism. But if the culture you live in is a culture of fear, ambiguity, or individual survival, none of those tools will reach their full potential. So culture is the soil in which everything else grows. So please build it deliberately. Build it deliberately. So let's look at how to build culture deliberately. 6 actions. 6 specific things you can do this week to build team culture with intention. Number 1, name what you stand for. Tell your team clearly what you value and what you expect, not a list of corporate values. Your actual beliefs about how this team should work together. Then live those beliefs. Number 2, protect psychological safety in real time. The next time someone brings you bad news or a difficult truth, notice your first response. Make it cautious, not defensive. Ask a question before you react. Number 3, celebrate specifically and promptly. When something goes wrong, name it specifically in the moment, not a general, we didn't do well. And when something goes well, also name it specifically. For example, Sade analysis last week gave us the clarity we needed to make that decision. That is exactly the quality of thinking I want this team to be known for. That's specific and promptly. Number 4, address culture violations immediately. When a team member behaves in a way that contradicts the team values, address it quickly and privately. Every culture violation that goes unaddressed becomes the new normal. Number 5, create a regular team review. Monthly or quarterly, bring the team together to ask what is working, what is not, what do we want to do differently. This keeps the culture alive and evolving rather than fix and stay. Then lastly, build trust through consistency. Do what you said you would do. Show up the same way regardless of who is watching. Be the same leader in the difficult moments as in the easy ones too. Trust is not built through speeches. It is built through accumulation of consistent, predictable behavior over time. Consistent, predictable behavior over time will build trust. So what do I want you to do this week? Your action step from this series is a reflective one rather. Take 30 minutes this week and write the answers to 3 questions. What 3 words do you want your team to use to describe the culture of working in your team? What 3 words? What 3 behaviors will you need to model consistently for those words to be true? And what is one cultural habit you want to start building in your team this week or this month? 3 words, 3 behaviors, 1 habit. This is how deliberate culture begins. So what are our key takeaways for this week? Culture is a set of unwritten rules that govern how people behave when no one is watching formally. Every team has a culture. The question is whether the leader builds it deliberately or the culture assembled itself from defaults. Remember the 4 foundations: psychological safety, clear standards, collective ownership, and deliberate rituals. You are always modeling the culture. Walk it. WALK. Don't just describe it. And lastly, culture is the soil in which everything else grows. So build it deliberately, and everything in this series will reach its full potential. So now we have come to the end of series 2. It has been series 2, massive. We transit, weekend learning with transit, the team leader edge. 6 episodes, 6 skills, 1 system for becoming the leader your team deserves. So please, if this series have added value to your leadership, don't just like it. Share it with every team leader you know. Post your reflection. Tag someone who is stepping into leadership for the first time. The more leaders across Africa and Nigeria who have access to practical, relevant, honest leadership development, the stronger our organizations, our communities, and our country become. We will start series 3 next week. We are moving into series 3, the business owner mindset. It will also be 6 series. So you can see we started from the individual to now the team leader. Now we are moving to the business owner mindset. So it has been a pleasure. My name is Bola Mensa. I'm an accredited management trainer and I've been your instructor for all the episode. Thank you very much for your time.